Let me give a brief introduction about myself. I am just Kirat and I have started this YouTube page. The main agenda for starting this YouTube page has been to educate people on the finance sector. Uh, Talking about myself, I am an MBA graduate from IIM Kashipur, and post that I have been into the HR industry, uh, like having approximately 5 years of work experience. And recently, I left my job and I thought of starting my new career in Canada. And currently, I am staying in Canada, Toronto, and my I have been into the HR industry, but my real passion has been finance and investing. I have been investing from last 8 to 9 years now, and constantly made an XIRR on the stocks and mutual funds that I had invested of approximately 16%. So yes, Aman, that was a brief introduction about me. I am requesting you also to give your introduction, and then we can start this YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Jaskirat, and let's give each other great wishes for this new beginning. And it was a lovely introduction. I must tell you that I'm being inspired by your journey. And talking about myself, I have been in Canada for about 3 years now, and I have come from India, and I have spent 15 years of my life studying about finance and these markets, and I've been a trader since I was like 14 years old. And since then, I have been actively investing into the Indian markets. And then later on, when I gathered some more confidence, I maneuvered to US and other international equities too. And currently, I am actively trading in mutual funds, ETFs, as well as stocks, bonds, crypto for that matter, or commodities as well. And I have also been for a few years of my life worked as a shipbroker. So I got a fair understanding of how commodities work, primarily crude oil, and how those fluctuations and how geopolitics influence how equities perform in the quarters. So, and I am excited to share those insights with our viewers for their better understanding so that when they are trading in the market, they are more confident and they feel empowered while doing or making those trades.
So, Aman, we have seen that the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 both have fallen from the both have been falling from last 2 days. I also tried to research about these things that have happened recently, the earnings release and all the other macroeconomic factors. The three major things that I was able to analyze, obviously I'll give you the mic to talk about it as well. The first thing that has been that the AI bubble, about the AI bubble, like major economists have warned about the overvaluation of the US stocks, especially the tech and AI stocks. Second has been definitely the earnings. People had expected way a lot, because I don't think those, like, their expectations had been really high, and the companies had given a really good earning report, especially like companies like Meta, AMD. I really liked their earnings, but anyway, they tanked. But I guess the third, which is the most important reason for this fall, was the release of Anthropic's cloud work. I think cloud co-work. Sorry, and this has scared a lot of tech companies, software companies, and legal companies because of the things that it can do. It is not like just like a chat GPT that is there for the customers. Their customers are the business. Like for Anthropic, their customers are the business, and the potential is quite huge. That is why the whole US economy, US companies are scared, and that is why the legal tech companies of Canada and US had fallen the most actually. So Aman, I would like to ask you also, like, especially for the viewers, like, what are your thoughts? Like, how have you tracked the last 2 days?
Yes, and last 2 days have been really challenging for the markets overall, and you have rightly pointed out that some bit of it is partly due to the kind of exuberance showcased by the markets in terms of the big tech companies, and absolutely their valuations are far stretched now. And because everybody is hoping that AI is the next thing for the future, and people sometimes likely forget that um, overstretching of valuations can lead to sudden drops in values, and which can be severe. And one thing I would also like to point out is when the valuations are far stretched, when the growth rate is factored, which is quite significant, even a slight miss in the earnings, like a slight drop in growth rate, for example, the AMD came out with their results yesterday, and they pointed out that in the next quarter their earnings may be slightly lower than this quarter. That led to a severe reaction from the company, from the market participant, and the stock had to face a beating. And you would have seen with the latest announcements from AMD just a day before, when they mentioned in the management commentary that the earnings for the next quarter may be slightly lower than this quarter, and that led to a severe reaction from the market because the markets have been factoring in a higher growth. Their expectations related to the earnings were are stretched, as in for this quarter, the company beat all the estimates. Like all the analysts had predicted certain revenue and EPS, and the company beat all of those. But still, we noticed that uh, the markets didn't receive the results or the management commentary too well, and the stock dropped by almost 16% in a day. And that can happen to any big stocks, be it NVDA, be it any other company, and in future too. Uh, I am fearful that when NVIDIA posts its result, maybe likely in next quarter or maximum by 2 quarters, we would definitely see a sudden drop in the market, even if NVIDIA misses their results by a slight number. That is bound to happen anyway, because a company cannot grow with a very high rate indefinitely. It always have to come to a mean level as compared to the GDP. So I caution my friends and family that investing at this time, you have to be careful around the earning cycle. And just before the earning announcement, I asked them to reduce their exposure to such high paying companies. And when it comes to the recent announcement by Claude and Anthropic related to their new tool, that seriously showcases the potential of AI. Clearly, many jobs will get lost in terms of the jobs have been like very much desk job, and all the IT sector in India was almost based on the headcounts and number of people working on reports. And these tools, all the AI tools, reduces how much time we have to spend on a particular work by a significant amount. Like for some research related to some companies, I had to previously read hours and hours to analyze a few numbers. But with the advent of AI, I can do it in a matter of a few clicks. And yes, while we are talking about Claude and it's all new progress, let's just talk about the chips on which these all models are working. Let's talk about NVIDIA, everyone's favorite, and everyone would be wondering whether is it a good time to buy, or whether they should add, or is it a good time to sell. What is your technical analysis showing, Jaspreet, that if you can share some insight that you have?
Sure, Aman. I have just opened the NVIDIA's daily chart. I hope I started. So I'll be just talking about the NVIDIA support. First of all, the major support line has been this line. So it acts like a mirror. Hopefully it jumps. So we are on this channel, we are not going to let anybody know when to invest, when not to invest. It is their own, it is like viewers own call. What I am doing, what I am not doing, I'll let that know. But it is totally everyone's like their own judgment. They should do their own judgment, then only they should invest or sell off. But definitely, like, this is a major support line where Nvidia has been right now. and hopefully it should reverse back. And if it does not reverse back, then we can see a little like more sell off on Nvidia, especially at that 174 level. Hopefully there was some recovery at the end of the day. Let's see what other what rest of the days will be like. That's all from the technical side. Not really, I'll not be talking more about the technical front. I would also would love to know your thoughts, especially on the fundamental side and what is really happening on the at a company level at Nvidia.
So, just that at the company level, from the fundamental point of view, the last quarter we saw record profits, record operating cash flows, and net income, and the growth rate is phenomenal. And going forward, if Nvidia can achieve similar growth and also can exceed it, then it would give a big boost to Nvidia as well as the entire AI sector as a whole. The only concerns at this time around is growing competition in the chip segment. We have seen Google is coming up with their own chips and they have installed their chips in their own devices. Same Amazon and Meta is coming up with their own chips. So that is leading to more competition and likely can reduce to lower margins going forward. And also there is a concern of how uh, different companies are spending money and investing in one another, like a circular kind of thing that is happening in the market, which is causing more fear in the market that they may not be able to fully showcase the results in terms of actual cash flows, because all the investments that are being announced are from one company going to another and third company getting another benefits and stuff like that, which is raising a concern of a bubble in the market. And this is a caution for all the viewers out there that any slight drop in Nvidia's earnings can lead to severe downward pressure on the stock prices going forward. Even when we have noticed that the stock is currently available at the price we had last seen in September 2025, and so for some it may be a good time to add more, but I would also caution against any negative earnings. And if Nvidia showcases any downward trend in the earnings, that would be a sign to book all the profits and maybe take it home.
Got it. Well, thank you very much, and let's hope for the best. What happens in the coming days?